are you all doing today? Alright, so today is day 23 of my 30 days of vlogging. 7 more days. Ah! It was funny because like before at the beginning it was like this was how many I have done, and now this is how many are left. Holy crap, super excited. Thank you guys. I just want to say thank you for even just following along this long. So I didn't get any topics or anything like that, but so on Thursday I went on, like, I was supposed to have actually 2 dates, one lunch and then one later in the evening. I actually, since I knew I was going to be going out Thursday night, and the guy that I was talking to, he was interested in some of the stuff that I'm doing, so we had like a meeting thing. So I took him there and stuff like that, and then we went to drinks and just to catch up and whatnot, which a very short time because I also had to get my daughter because I had the car, and she was at work. And so we're gonna talk about that because my daughter thought it was freaking hilarious, and she said I need to go on more dates like that because it was just so awesome. Okay, so first of all, my business, I take it very seriously. So at the meeting, of course, I'm going to dress up like I'm doing my business. I mean, most people, when you're, this, to me, it's $1 million business, and I am not, I'm treating it like it. So I'm not going to go in like hobo stuff, okay? So he asked me what I was wearing, so I told him that I am doing business, and it's not even business casual. I had a skirt on, nice shirt, a jacket. And so he's like, well, what do you want me to dress as? I was like, however you want. I said, this is what I'm wearing, so if you want to be like that, I told you this is my business, and it's, if you're interested in it, this is how we present it. That's what it is. And so he's like, okay, I'll get ready, I got a suit. And talking to him and stuff like that, he was very nice, and he's helping out his parents and stuff like that. I guess his mom's been gone, and his dad recently recovered from surgery. He's a really, talking and stuff like that, very intellectual. Seemed very smart, and he's doing side stuff on it by himself. And so I was like, yeah, that'd be I think he'd kind of clicked that, and he said, I'm really open to things. And I was like, sweet, okay. So I was just taking him there because I was already dressed up. So might as well, since I'm gonna be out anyways, and dressed. So I went there, and so first off, I pick him up because his vehicle is not working right or something, and so I go to pick him up, and so he's in a suit and tie, which is cool. I appreciate it, and I was very thankful that he dressed up. Because like I said, I guess women, like, we get skirt, dress pants, things like that, and nice tops and stuff like that. We don't really do ties, so he did that, and so he got in, and it was raining too. That was when it was like really pouring down here. And so I stay in the car, and I was like, I just texted him. I was like, hey, I'm here, because one, I did my hair all pretty, and the minute rain touches it, it's like, it was all curled, and the minute, anyways, long hair, thick, rain, don't mix. Especially it's real straight, so doesn't hold color. So he comes out and gets in the car, and I was like, hey, I just, thanks for coming, like, and not letting me get to the out and go in the rain and stuff. I said, I'm all dressed up and stuff, and I prefer to wait until I get closer to the place to get out and get wet. And so he's like, no, I understand, thank you, thanks for getting me. And I was like, hey. And so we kind of hugged a little bit, the little hug thing, which was fine and stuff. It's like, he's been real nice, and so I didn't see an issue with it. And so we're driving and we're talking, and like, you guys know, I have kind of like, I don't really, like, my mind's in the gutter. It's there. I have a pretty good filter, though, to, like, not say anything or, know my crowd. And he was, he had a very dirty mind, like, and like he makes shirts and stuff like Israel, and so he like, I don't know, comedy or something like that, but he's like, he has notebooks to write stuff when things inspire him, or I guess I'm thinking that's for his shirts and stuff, like for his business. And so he asked me to pull over because he lost like the vape stuff, and so we stopped there, and he's like, don't leave, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, why? No, it's all good, and so he goes in, and I mean, it's not long, but it's like 4 minutes, I think. And he comes out and he's like, I'm sorry it took so long. And I'm like, nah, you weren't even like 4 minutes. You're fine, it's all good. And he's like, the chip wouldn't go in. And I like a good joke, funny, haha. But it went a little too far. Like, he's like, I tripped getting it in. Like, it took me 4 times sticking it in. And he's like, and I'm just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, those can be a pain in the butt sometimes, And then he's like, well, it was a dude talking to me about it, about sticking it in, and it just wasn't fitting or wasn't working right. And I'm just like, oh, yeah. He's like, I don't swing that way. I was like, well, I do, because I was trying to just make it funny. And then he's like, maybe I should go back when there's a girl there, and like, I should, I mean, you went like this too, like sticking it in. So it's like, it wasn't, I mean, it's funny, yes, but it was just like, okay. I mean, like I said, my mind, that's funny. I had 3 older brothers, and they, I just, yeah. So we're going, so we go again, and so we're just talking, and I tell him, like, one of the guys that actually messaged me before, I was like, well, there's certain points of what things you could talk about or whatnot. Like, the first day, like, I got on the dating app, there was one guy who started messaging me, and, like, messaged me, and then I was like, we seemed, like, he was really cool, and so I was, like, sent him my phone number, and then he, like, sent me a bunch of his pictures and stuff, and so I sent him a couple of mine, and then he's like, hey, do you have any more? And I've got big boobs, so I've got pictures where my boobs are kind of there, it's like, there. He's like, ooh, you got nice titties, and I'm like, thanks, I mean, it's a compliment, I know they're there, they're not, yeah, I got boobs, so thank you. But then, like, he's like, do you have any other ones that are, like, Victoria's Secret style? And I'm like, nah. I was like, first off, my kids can have access to my phone, and I don't want to put that on my phone. And so I'm like, no, I don't really have those sort of photos. And then, so, like, it's getting late at night. So I'm telling this to the guy. And I was like, yeah. And so I'm sitting there, and he asked me if I sleep nude. And so I'm just like, I mean, now everyone's going to know. But it's just, it's comfortable. I'd hate clothes, and I wrap in my blankets, and we're good. So he's like, take a picture. And I'm just like, and so he's like, oh man, that was a little forward for, your first thing. And I'm like, yeah, I was kind of like not even talking on my text message. Within an hour it was already, I was like, no. And I'm like, what is it? Like, honestly, what is it with you guys now? I mean, not guys. Anyways, I mean, I have yet to find one. I mean, I know we're older and, like, sex is a thing, but I'm looking for, like, connection, not just sex. If I wanted that, I'd just go to the bar. So we're going. Okay, so we get to the place. All right, so there's more comments and stuff like that, and we talk about some weird, like, I've got a friend who's one of my game friends. He always sends me really, really weird, like, some of those, like, stuff, and that's adult sense, so he sends me stuff all the time, so it's really crazy. And so we're going, okay, we get there, we park, and I'm trying to see if they're there, because it looked all dark inside in the building. And so I'm messaging, and so I put my purse behind, because in the front seat I didn't want him stepping on it or whatnot, so I put it behind. So I go to reach back and lean, and he's in the other seat, and he thinks I'm making a move on him, and he kisses me. He's like, I hope that's not too forward. I'm like, I was just getting my purse. Yeah, like not even, I mean, it was a 15, 20-minute drive. Not 30-minute drive. So, but still. No, it wasn't even that long. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm like, ha. First off, and then what's funny, okay, so my brother's there as well, because he's, like I said, he's in my business and stuff. He works with me and stuff. And it's funny, my brother doesn't even recognize me. I don't know if it's because I'm dressed up or my hair. I mean, he's seen me, though, on, like, calls and stuff like that, so he knows my hair's darker. And so he opens the door, and he comes in, opens it, and starts walking away. I'm like, hey, brother. And he's like, oh. He's like, I didn't recognize you. I'm like, cool. So I should ask him, though, was it, like, because I was dressed up? Because normally when we talk, it's just this, And so anyway, so we go in. He meets my mentor, Brandon, and then Anthony, my brother. And it's like, he goes in, and he's like, even before we went in, he's like, I'll make sure and be good. I won't say anything crass. And I'm like, or, out of inappropriate. So I'm like, okay. Thank you, because this is my business and I take it seriously. And I mean, like I said, when we first started talking, he just seemed really, I mean, it was just, I thought it was open, intelligent person. And so I get him a water, and I'm waiting for one of my other girls, and so I can make her through the door and stuff. And so then the meeting starts and everything. And every time something that could be like funny, or no, before them even started, there was these paintings on the wall, and he was like, man, those look like boobs, or those look like ovaries. I just see this stuff, and I'm just like, they're like circles and like abstract art, and I'm just like, or like one of them was testicles, and I'm just like, oh, okay. So meeting starts. So he's like, we're at this long round table, and he's in front of me. And so, like, he's watching, and we're both facing this way, and the meeting's in front of it. And so he kept, every once in a while, he would turn around and be like, like, something funny, try to say something funny. Or, I couldn't really hear a lot of what he said, but there was one part where my brother was writing on the board, like a circle, and then had okay? So a circle and 2 circles below. What do you think he said? Turn around, he's like, looks like balls. Just, I hope, Brandon or Anthony, if you did hear that, sorry. He said it kind of quiet. I could barely hear him, but still, apologize. So yeah, so that, so I'm just thinking, okay, he's, first off, when you're in a business situation, that's just not something you do. And so I'm like, okay, I mean, yeah, haha, funny, I get it. And so we get ready to go, and so I'm telling him, let's go to a place that's near your house, so when I'm needing to drop you off, I need to drop you off by 10 so I can get my daughter by 10:30. And so he's like, yeah. So we're driving, and then he's like, well, my parents, because he's helping his parents, so he's at his parents' house, they go to bed early. So, and they have this thing upstairs, this area upstairs, and, we can hang out for a while. I'm like, let's just go to the bar, and then I'll drop you off at 10, And so we get there, and this is like a sports bar kind of thing, and they got pool tables, and I was like, that'd be kind of cool. I haven't done that in a very long time. Hopefully it didn't, I was like thinking, hopefully it doesn't hurt my back or whatnot. I had put some of my like pain stuff that I have, one of my products and stuff, and took in all my stuff to help not have issues, because anytime I go anywhere, I do that. And so we get in the bar, right? So he goes to the table. He's like, hey, there's like not really many seats. And so he's like, here, we'll get this. You can have the high back one. I was like, I'm going to run to the restroom. So I went to the bathroom, and I come back. He already has a drink. And he's like, yeah, I come here a lot, so they know my order, so they just bring it to me. And I'm just like, oh, okay. He's like, what do you want? And so I ordered, I was like, well, do you know if they make a good Bloody Mary? I don't like alcohol. I mean, I don't like beer at all. Wine's okay, but I'm not really a big aficionado, so I don't know what type or what. So anyways, I can drink it, but I'm not like, hey, this is what I want to drink. So like, I like drinks, so I was like, I asked her, I was like, hey, can you do a Bloody Mary, but not spicy? She's like, well, the stuff's spicy. I was like, okay, a little spice is fine, but don't add to it, because like, I am the whitest white person you will ever see, and I cannot take spicy. I mean, I can do a little bit. I can do a little bit. There's just not a lot. And then I'll be like crying and it's not coming out. It's just not pretty. Uh, so we're there. We're talking, okay? So I'm in a skirt and I have heels on. So you know how when you sit, cross your leg, because I am in a skirt. So I cross my legs like a lady. And so I'm on the bar, to the stool. So my one foot is higher up and I've got heels. So my leg is higher. So my leg is almost even with the bar top, you know? And so we're sitting there and, I don't have I mean, my skirt when I stand up, it was probably like an inch or so from my knee. So when I stood up, it sat down and goes up a little higher. I mean, it wasn't short. It wasn't like up to my crotch. So, but there is some leg showing, like probably about 4 or 5 inches showing, okay? And I'm trying to like either have my arm on it or cover up with my jacket. And so we're talking, and he's also like listening to other people's conversation and getting into that, which is fine. I mean, if there's something funny, that's totally funny. You know, if someone says something, I'm like, yeah. So we're talking and we're discussing. And then I'm like, let's play some pool. And he's like, well, let me see if I can get it for free. It's like, and I asked the bartender, I was like, how much is it? It's like $10. I was like, okay. And so he's like, let me see what I can do. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know, I said, we just have an hour though, really. And so he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I got to go get my daughter at 10. You know, you got to drop you off and then go. Oh wait, I skipped part. So he's like, I'm hungry. And he's like, you want something to eat? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm like, I don't like eating late at night because it was one of my days that I'm not fasting. And so he got a menu, and then he like so menu on the table, okay, on the bar top. So he lays his arm on my leg and is like looking at the menu. So it's like this. He's like this and just like having his arm on my leg. I'm just like, okay. I mean, I probably should have been like, psh, but I mean, it wasn't too gropey, grabby sort of thing. And so I was like, I mean, I was like, okay, it's innocent, yeah, which I should, yeah. But, you know, I was like, I drove him and stuff like that. I didn't want to be like, hey, I was just being nice, I guess. And it was just weird. So, I mean, like I said, it's been a long time since I've been on a date. And, yeah. So, he's like, he asked me like 10 times if I want something to eat. And I told him every time no. And eventually he ordered. And it was like almost time to go, you know. And like, I even had an alarm set on my phone, so it's like, warning, I gotta leave. So he orders the food finally, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, I was like, they bring the food. No, I think it was before, maybe either right before or right when he got his food. You know, I was like, wow, that's a lot of food for one. It was just the big thing of it, which, yeah. So so he ordered it and he's like, yeah. And so I'm like, listen, I was like, we gotta hurry because like, you know, I said, you may need to take some of that to go because I need to drop you off by 10 and I need to go get my daughter at 10:30. He's like, oh. He's like, wait, tonight? I'm like, yeah, she's at work right now. I gotta go get her. I gotta pick her up, you know? And so he's like, oh, I thought you meant tomorrow. Now, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, that's why he was trying to get me to his parents' house. And I'm like, no. I say, my daughter is at work and I gotta pick her up tonight. Yeah. So, anyways, so he gets the food, all right, and he's eating some of it and it's like hot, so he's letting it cool down. So this is like 15 minutes till we have to leave. And so we're going and it's just like, he's like, I'll get a box. So he paid for the tab. He's like, and the girl asked me, the bartender, like after I finished my drink, she's like, do you want another one? I'm like, no, just give me water. And I was like, I gotta, you know, I'm driving. And then also I gotta get up early because my kids got school the next day. So he gets a to-go box. Okay. And not even that, he asked for another shot. Like he's taking these shots during this whole time. So he asked for another shot before he tabs out. So he gets another shot. And then he got his to-go box and started putting it in there, okay? So there's this sauce in this like little metal container. that you use for like dipping, I guess, the onion rings in that he had. He puts it in the to-go container. It's like, I'm gonna take this. I'm just like, okay. And then he covers it up with the onion ring so they can't tell. So yeah, I'm like, okay, let's just go. And so, and even too, like when we were driving to the meeting thing, some guy zips in front of us and like goes around, and he's like, hey man, that's fucked up. Why did you in a hurry? He's like raged a little bit, and I'm like, He's like, I don't have road rage, I was just stupid. And I'm like, I got it. And so we're leaving. We finally leave, and it's like my alarms are going off. Like it's like time to go. It went off, and it's like I needed to be dropping you off when this alarm was going off. And so I drop them off, and not drop them off. I would get our stuff. We're going outside, and then so we get in the car, and we're driving, and there's someone pulled into the front, and it pulls up into the front, and they're dropping someone off. So I go around them because they're stopped, and so I go around. Okay, I'm back. Another phone call. Probably shouldn't need to put do not on. Even if I do the do not disturb, it'll still go. Anyways, so as I'm driving around the car, the guy, like I'm driving, I'm passing him because he was stopped, and then he starts going, and then the dude, so he's in the passenger seat, and then the guy, I guess, in the car, like does something or says something. He's like, what do you want to do, bro? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go, and so I start going, and the guy and he's like, man, you look at him get out of the car, and I'm just like, yeah, what? You know what I mean? You're like, what the hell? It's not a problem. I was like, what do you, I was like, what he was stopped. So I was going around him, and so drop him off, good to drop him off. And and when we left the meeting, he stripped out of his stuff, his tux and everything. And he's like, no, I've only done this. I can count it on two hands wearing a tie, like my wedding and interviews and stuff. I did this for you. And I'm just like, I appreciate it, but like I said, you dress comfortably and stuff like that. I didn't say you had to go in a suit and tie. So before we left the meeting, he stripped. And so then I was like, hey, don't forget your stuff. And so we're pulled up in front of his place, and I'm like, hey, don't forget your stuff. And so he's getting the stuff, and so of course he's leaned over and he kisses me again. And it wasn't. Anyways, so yeah, and so he's like at the bar, he was like, oh, you have beautiful eyes. And then at the place, he's like, you're just so beautiful, and I was like, thank you. I appreciated him coming out, and I appreciated the drinks, and I appreciated going out. I just don't, maybe it's been so long since I've been out. It's just so weird for me. I'm just like, and so I guess I don't know the etiquette yet of what is right and what is wrong. And it's just kind of weird for me. So then, before he leaves, he says how beautiful I am, reaches over and grabs my leg, and he says, you have sexy legs. And I'm like, thank you so much. And he gets out of the car finally and leaves. So I'm driving, and he's already texting me a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, I'm driving for one. Thank you, and when I do stop, I'm like, thank you, appreciate it. You come in, we can, I'm still talking and stuff like that. And so, I just don't know. It's just, to me, it was really weird, that kind of date. It was just really, really weird. And so I was telling my daughter, when I picked her up, of course, I picked her up and started telling her this, and she was laughing her ass off. She thought it was the most funniest thing ever, and that I should go out on more dates and continue to have dates like that. Really? I love my daughter, but what the hell? One doesn't want me to date. The other one wants me to have dates that are really weird. So, wow, that was actually a really long one. I know I cut in the middle because of a phone call, but it's really, really, I can't even say, okay? So, yeah, it was crazy. I don't even, yeah, so I don't know what I am still talking. There's a couple more that I'm still talking to that they're really cool. Seem normal right now and not too crazy. But one's in Fort Worth, and another one's actually not too, Denton, I think he is. So I don't know when whatever's going to happen with that. But I will let you guys know how the stuff goes, if it goes that crazy town or if it's normal. Or I don't even know what normals is nowadays. I mean, really, who knows what happens? So, yes, I didn't have a topic given to me today, but since my daughter said I should share and keep going on these kind of dates, I am sharing. And we'll see what happens if it continues to happen. So, today is day 27 of my 30 day. Oh, wait. Whoa. 23 of my 23 of my 30 days of vlogging. So I appreciate you guys following along. Don't forget to leave any comments or comments about dates that you guys have been on. If this is a normal thing or what, please let me know, because like I said, I haven't had a date in a very long time. And then, so leave it in comments, and then like dates that you guys been on, I totally would love to hear. And then ideas. Love any ideas you guys have. Appreciate it. Topics, things, all of that. And then don't forget to share, because let's see who else has had crazy dates or normal. I don't know. This is new to me. And then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, so that way you guys know when I post my next video tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and at least for the next 7 days. Until then, you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.